Right after announcing my pregnancy, my neighbor planted dozens of fake baby daddy flyers around the neighborhood, claiming I was lying about the father. I stayed quiet until I shared footage from my doorbell camera of her posting the flyers. The video went viral locally, and within 24 hours, she was banned from every local business and evicted by her own landlord for public harassment and defamation. My name's Shelby. I'm 34. I live in a modest, two-bedroom home in a quiet neighborhood in Broken Arrow, just outside Tulsa, Oklahoma. I moved here after years of saving and scraping, and I was proud to finally call it mine. The neighborhood wasn't fancy, but it had a certain charm. Old folks with porch swings, kids riding bikes in cul-de-sacs, and people who waved as they walked their dogs. And then there was Renee. Renee lived next door to me in a faded blue duplex. She was in her late 30s, unmarried, no kids, and worked at some local credit union. Her lawn was always pristine, like obsessively pristine, and she had this constant sour look like someone had peed in her coffee. Still, she made small talk. Always asking questions about me and my fiancé Tyler, how long we'd been together, where he worked, if he was good with kids. Nosy, but never rude. At first, I thought she was just lonely. Turns out, she was something else entirely. Tyler and I had been trying to get pregnant for over a year. We'd had 2 miscarriages, one early, one that crushed us at 11 weeks. So when I got that 3rd positive test and made it to the 2nd trimester without issue, I was glowing. We decided to start telling people. Nothing dramatic, just a few neighbors, a few close friends. Renee was one of the people I told casually one morning when she waved to me as I was heading to the car. Her reaction still sticks with me. She smiled, nodded, said, "Oh wow, congrats." But there was this weird flicker in her face, like she'd bitten something bitter. She asked if we'd picked a name yet, if we were sure it was Tyler's, laughing, like it was a joke, and then went back inside without another word. That was on a Tuesday. By Friday, things went to hell. It started when a woman 3 doors down, Denise, someone I barely knew, stopped me during my morning walk. "You okay, hon?" she asked, real gentle. "Yeah?" I said. "Why?" "I just saw something by the mailboxes. About you." I didn't want to assume, but I didn't understand at first. But when I got to the metal community mailbox at the corner, my blood went cold. There was a flyer. A full-color printed flyer. A photo of me from Facebook, clearly taken from my profile, with a big red headline across the top, "Fake baby daddy? This woman is lying. Ask her who the father really is." I stood there, frozen, staring at it. Someone had gone through the trouble of finding my picture, editing it, printing it out, and taping it for the whole neighborhood to see. Below the headline, there were questions scrawled in Sharpie: Tyler or someone else? Is this why she moved here alone? DNA test coming? My hands were shaking as I tore it down. I walked the block, and my horror grew with each step. On light poles, stop signs, garbage bins, 8 more flyers in total, all the same. I even found one posted on the fence in front of my own house. I don't know how I made it inside without throwing up. I called Tyler, bawling. He left work early and came straight home. We sat in silence, stunned. My brain couldn't process what was happening. At first, I thought maybe someone online was harassing me, maybe my account got hacked or some ex-friend was trying to stir up trouble. But none of it made sense, until I remembered Renee. She was the only person I told in that casual, gossipy way. The only one who reacted weirdly. And she had access to my house. She lived right next door. Tyler wanted to confront her immediately. But I said no. I had a better idea. 2 months earlier, after someone had stolen a delivery off our porch, we installed a Ring doorbell camera. It had night vision, motion alerts, and cloud backup. I checked the timeline. And there she was. Renee. Plain as day. 2:37 a.m. The night before the flyers appeared. She was wearing a gray hoodie, ball cap, gloves, and sneakers, the kind of outfit you wear when you don't want to be seen. But the camera caught her perfectly. She walked up to our mailbox. Looked around. Pulled something out of her bag. Tape. A paper. She carefully stuck it to the box, adjusted it, then jogged off. 10 minutes later, she came back and posted another one, on our front gate. I sat there, hands trembling, watching it loop over and over. I didn't sleep that night. I spent hours pulling every clip I could find. She had done it over 2 different nights, each time past midnight. I ended up with 6 separate clips of her planting flyers. And still, I didn't confront her. I didn't call the cops. I didn't even talk to the HOA. I wanted this to hit her the way she tried to hit me, publicly. Hard. Without warning. So I did the only thing that made sense. I made a video. I spent the next morning editing the clips into a short, clear video. I didn't add music. No fancy transitions. Just straight-up footage with a timestamp overlay and a bold title card at the beginning. This woman is posting harassing flyers about me, because I'm pregnant. I added a short caption before uploading it to Facebook, Nextdoor, and Instagram. I announced my pregnancy a few days ago. Then this started happening. She wanted to humiliate me quietly. Now she gets to be seen loudly. I hesitated before clicking post. A big part of me was scared. I didn't want attention. I didn't want drama. But I knew damn well if I stayed quiet, she'd win. So I clicked it. The first comment came 5 minutes later. Wait, is that Renee W? From First Fidelity Bank? Then it exploded. The video spread like wildfire. It hit over 1,000 shares in the first hour. People started tagging each other, asking if they'd seen the flyers too. Turns out, she didn't just post them on our street. People had spotted them in 2 nearby shopping centers, on park benches, even outside the grocery store we all used. And people were pissed. Someone posted her work profile from the bank. Another shared screenshots of nasty comments she'd made in a neighborhood Facebook group months earlier, bashing single moms and welfare breeders. The more people dug, the worse it got. Within a few hours, my inbox was flooded. Some were messages of support. Others were people thanking me for exposing her. But the biggest surprise? 2 other women messaged me with stories of how Renee had targeted them in the past. One woman, Jenna, said Renee called CPS on her last year, claiming her kids were left unsupervised while she was at work, a total lie. CPS found no issue, but the trauma stuck. Another, Carla, said Renee had gotten her teenage daughter suspended by accusing her of bullying her dog. The girl had only walked past the house with her friends. Suddenly, I wasn't just dealing with a nosy neighbor. I was dealing with a serial harasser. By noon, someone had emailed the video to First Fidelity Bank. A few hours later, a friend of mine who works downtown texted me, she got fired. Walked out. No warning. I didn't celebrate. Not yet. I wanted to see her face. Around 3 p.m., I heard a loud bang, a car door slamming shut. I peeked out the window. There she was. Renee was stomping around her front yard, phone to her ear, screaming. I couldn't hear every word, but I caught enough. No, it's a f***ing lie. She edited the video. You think I'd do that? She's a liar. Then she pointed toward my house and spat on the ground. Real classy. I didn't go out. I didn't say a word. That night, I got an email from the neighborhood HOA. They were issuing her a formal warning for defamation and public harassment of another resident. They CC'd her landlord on the email. The next morning, I walked outside to grab the paper and saw something taped to her front door. A 30-day notice to vacate. It was real. Her landlord had kicked her out. I stood there, holding my belly, staring at the paper flapping in the wind. For a moment, I felt, weird. Like maybe I'd gone too far. But then I remembered the pain I felt tearing those flyers down. The shame. The humiliation. The fear that people I barely knew might see me as some kind of fraud. No. I didn't go too far. She did. I thought that would be the end of it. She was fired, exposed, and on her way out. But what I didn't realize is that some people don't stop when they're losing, they double down. A week after the eviction notice went up, Renee disappeared. I didn't see her for days. No car in the driveway. No lights in the house. It was like she vanished overnight. I figured maybe she'd packed up early and moved in with a friend, maybe went to stay with family. But she wasn't gone. She was just planning something else. That Friday, around 6 p.m., Tyler and I were getting ready to head out for dinner, our first night out in weeks. I stepped onto the porch, and something felt off. There was this strange silence. Then I saw it. Our tires. Slashed. All 4 tires on both of our cars were completely flat. Deep gashes, like someone had gone at them with a knife. I backed up and shouted for Tyler. He came running out, looked at the cars, and his face went pale. "Check the cameras," he said. I rushed inside. The doorbell cam hadn't picked anything up, the cars were parked on the side of the house, just out of view. But we had a second camera installed above the garage, and that one caught her. It was Renee. She had a hoodie pulled over her head again, but there was no mistaking that posture, the way she moved, how she held her bag, how she looked over her shoulder just like she did in the flyer footage. She crouched down behind the car, moved methodically from tire to tire. In the last few seconds of the clip, she stood up and looked straight at the camera. No smile. No fear. Just dead eyes. Then she walked off into the darkness. I sent the footage to the police that night and filed a report. That's when they told me something I wasn't prepared for. They already had an open case on her. Apparently, Renee had a restraining order filed against her in a different city 2 years earlier. For harassing a coworker's family. I don't know the full details, but it involved threatening notes and anonymous calls. The woman ended up moving 2 states away. When I asked why she wasn't in jail yet, the officer told me what I already suspected: unless they caught her in the act, it'd be hard to press full charges. But now that they had video of the tire slashing and her prior behavior on record, they were finally opening a formal investigation. Still, I didn't feel safe. Tyler started parking at his buddy's house down the road. We bought floodlights. I slept with my phone under my pillow. I wasn't scared of a fistfight, I was scared of what someone like her might do when she knew she had nothing left to lose. Then, one morning, I woke up to an explosion of messages. My Facebook was blowing up. Dozens of notifications. At first, I thought the flyer video had resurfaced, but it wasn't that. Someone was impersonating me. A fake profile had popped up overnight with my name and my photo. It posted a long, fake confession claiming I faked the pregnancy to trap Tyler, that I was cheating, that I forged the ring footage to ruin Renee's life out of jealousy. People started commenting, confused. Some thought it was real. Others tagged me, asking what was going on. The post had already gotten shared to a local gossip group with over 10,000 members before I even saw it. I reported it. So did Tyler. So did half the damn neighborhood. But the damage was already in motion. It was the last straw. I contacted a lawyer that afternoon. I showed her everything: the flyers, the videos, the tire footage, the fake Facebook page. She didn't even hesitate. "We're going to court," she said. My lawyer moved fast. Within 48 hours, she filed for an emergency protective order. The police already had enough evidence from the tire slashing footage and the flyers to back us up, and once the fake Facebook profile was traced to an IP tied to Renee's old place, it was game over. She had made one final mistake: she thought hiding behind a screen would protect her. It didn't. The court granted the protective order immediately. A sheriff's deputy delivered it to the landlord, who handed it to Renee that same afternoon when she came back to grab more of her things. I wasn't there, but I heard from the neighbor across the street that she completely lost it. Screamed at the landlord, threw her keys, and drove off like a maniac. The order barred her from contacting me, Tyler, or being anywhere near our home. But that wasn't enough for me. I wanted the truth out there, all of it. My lawyer filed a civil suit for defamation, emotional distress, and property damage. We had everything we needed. Video evidence, witness statements, even the IP data from the fake account. Her old employer even wrote a letter confirming she had been fired after reviewing the footage. When the court date came, she showed up in a wrinkled suit and refused to speak unless the judge forced her. She didn't have a lawyer, just some printed screenshots and weak excuses. The judge didn't buy any of it. He awarded us a settlement. Not a massive one, but enough to pay for the tires, the legal fees, and something extra for the stress she caused. More importantly, it went on public record. Renee was officially found guilty of harassment and defamation. I thought that was the end. Then, a few weeks later, I got a knock on my door. It was Carla, one of the women who'd messaged me about Renee harassing her daughter. She handed me an envelope. "She's gone," she said. "What do you mean?" I asked. "She tried to move in with her cousin in Sepulpa. But once they found out what she did to you, the flyers, the court case, they kicked her out. Nobody wants her around now. She has nowhere left." Inside the envelope was a printed email from their HOA, warning members to report her if she returned. Renee had become a ghost. Banned from her old job, her old neighborhood, and blacklisted by every business that saw the viral video. And me? I gave birth to a healthy baby girl 5 months later. She came out strong and loud, just like her mama. I still take walks in the neighborhood. People wave more now. Some stop to ask about the baby. A few even say they never trusted Renee to begin with, but they didn't know what to do. Now they do. Because I didn't get loud. I didn't scream. I just showed people the truth. And the truth, when it's clear enough, does the screaming for you. As for me? I moved on. But I'll never forget what she tried to do. And I'll never forget the look on her face when the whole town saw exactly who she really was.